What's up? Welcome into your daily Buckeye Blitz for a Sunday freaking fun day, May 12th, 2024. Hello, nice to meet you. How are you? You look lovely this morning. Hope you got your coffee. Anybody nursing a little hangover last night? Oh, yeah, I see you. I see your eyes on fire. Anyway, hey, visit thebuckeyecast.com. Also, check out the video vault at thebuckeyecast.com. And you can check out the shop right below this video. You can see the shop if you scroll down just a little bit. So we are not moving, we're adding this store to the YouTube channel. So you can buy directly here from the YouTube videos. So hope you enjoy it. Take advantage. I would recommend it. And the shirts, hats, your basic shit. So today we're continuing our freshman focus on Air Noland, the quarterback out of Georgia. Plenty confident lefty and with plenty of competition in the quarterback room this spring. So let's get into it. You know this guy. We've talked about him a ton. 6'2", 195, coming out of Fairburn, Georgia, Langston Hughes High School. He's a high four-star, a 9.743 when the rankings came and down to their final decisions. 56th player in the class, number 4 QB, number 8 player in the loaded state of Georgia. Now, his scouting report goes like this: a productive left-hander with a quick release that can attack all different levels of the field, loves to pick apart defenses from the pocket, and doesn't take long to process. Natural arm talent, flashed multiple times during in-person evaluations, as he has the pace to get balls out to the numbers and the touch to drop them in over coverage. Elusive enough to get away from trouble and can move the chains every now and then with his legs. Should be viewed as a potential point guard for a college football playoff contender that can push the pace and get his playmakers involved. Likely going to need a developmental year or two, but has early round NFL draft upside, especially with his business-like mindset. So all good positives there. And I think you're definitely going to see a year or two of development for Air. But Air Noland was one of the best quarterbacks in his class, like I just said. His recruitment, though, was up and down a bit. Then you had Julian Sayin come in, add to the 2024 class. So Air is now one of 2 quarterbacks in the class. But if you remember, Dylan Raiola committed to the Buckeyes, Raiola, right, on May 9th, 2022. Came as a little bit of a surprise. And Ryan Day thought he had his quarterback for the class, right? They had no designs on taking 2 quarterbacks ever. That all changed when Ravioli decommitted from the Buckeyes on December 17th. So he made it a whole 7 months there, just over 7 months with a Raiola. So that's a long time for him. So the OSU coaching staff had to identify a new quarterback for the class and go get him. Nolan and Julian Sayin were the only 2 who received offers from the Buckeyes after Raiola decommitted. Ryan Day quickly targeted Air Noland as the guy he wanted, and they reconnected with him. Nolan earned the Ohio State offer after a visit to Columbus on March 31st, 2023. That's getting pretty late in your recruiting cycle. He committed just 8 days later on April 8th. He set before he a date that he set before he visited Ohio State. He had that date, concrete in stone, and regardless of whether it was Ohio State or not. So then the second QB commit for Ohio State in 2024, he became the second QB. He picked the Buckeyes among a group of finalists that included Miami, Texas A&M, Clemson, Oregon, Alabama, and Arkansas. Nolan jumped up 100 spots in the 24/7 composite rankings. And we do owe Jelani Thurman, the tight end, a little bit of an assist in this recruitment. He did his part in recruiting Air Noland. Air Noland talked about Jelani's influence. He said, quote, He sold me on Ohio State a lot. He loves it up there in Columbus. Jelani works very hard and is very smart. He does the right things on and off the field. We talk every day. That's my guy. You never know. You might run into him and play with a guy like that again in college. It's in God's hands. So in high school, Air became a star quickly in his high school career at Langston Hughes. As a freshman, he completed 62% of his passes, 1,348 yards for 15 touchdowns, only 5 picks. And that was only in 3 starts. He played in 11 games, but only 3 actual starts. In his sophomore season, he threw for 2,581 yards, 34 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 64% completion percentage. He led Langston Hughes to a 13-2 record in the Georgia 5A state runner-ups. And then as a junior, Noland led Langston Hughes to an undefeated 15-0 season. He completed 73% of his passes, 4,095 yards, 55 freaking touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Insane season. The 55 touchdowns ranked second all-time in Georgia history for a single season, right ahead of Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson, 51 and 50 there. Noland was named the Georgia Region 5 6A Player of the Year. He was a Max Prep Junior All-American. Then in his senior year, things kind of fell off a little bit. 60% completion percentage, 2,140 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. In his 4 seasons at Langston Hughes, Noland also ran the ball 111 times for 334 yards and 6 TDs. Noland also ran track. He ran the 200 and in a time of 24:19, and the 400, 55:91 as a freshman. And as a sophomore, he was clocked in at 11:89 in the 100-meter dash. Good, not great. Good enough for a quarterback anyway. So his impact in the spring game, we saw him. He actually had the third most snaps. He had 23. Julian Sayin had 34. Keenholz had 26. Noland with 23. Will Howard with just 20. Devin Brown with only 15. Noland was 5 of 7 passing in the spring game for 47 yards, did have a pick, but he did have five scrambles for 42 yards. So nice little scamper out of bounds to pick up some positive yards when he had nothing open downfield. So in Air Noland's first season at Ohio State, he'll need to dive into the playbook, develop as a passer, and get in the weight room, right? Coming in at like 192 pounds, 6'2", you gotta get some muscle on there to protect yourself. But Noland's time will come. He's currently at the bottom of the depth chart, it looks like, behind Will Howard, Devin Brown, Lincoln Keenholz, and Julian Sayin. Noland probably won't see the field much this season, 2024. But long-term, Will Howard just has this 1 year of eligibility remaining, then he's off to the pros. Then you have the possibility of Devin Brown or Lincoln Keenholz entering the portal after this season. The 2025 starting quarterback job could end up being a competition just between Noland and Sayin, possibly. Sayin appears to be ahead of Noland so far. He became the first freshman quarterback to lose his black stripe during the spring. Noland said before spring practice started that he isn't afraid of the competition. Back in March, he said, quote, "Julian pushes me and I push him. We were buddies at Elite 11 where he came out and won it, but now we'll get to put on the pads and whatnot. We're going to see each other the same way we saw each other at the Elite 11, but now we're teammates. We'll have to compete. We will be teammates who push each other every day. We will battle and we will have competitive excellence towards each other. That's what being the best of buddies and true teammates means." So, like it, push each other, yeah. Noland could eventually take over Sayin on the depth chart as they develop. We'll see. The competition does bring out the best in some players. Ryan Day said back in February that, quote, iron sharpens iron. Can never hear that too much. That's mine. He didn't say that. He continues on. It's going to be a fierce competition this spring. That's good. It's healthy. If you don't want to compete, Ohio State is probably not the right place for you. It makes everybody in that room better. They will embrace it. You will embrace it. A player comparison I've seen around, not sure I'm a big fan of, but anyway, is Teddy Bridgewater. He's a similar size, 6'3", like 196. But Noland's accuracy and ability to distribute the ball to all areas of the field are his best traits. If Noland can match Bridgewater's accuracy, then he will have a long, successful career. Hopefully longer than Teddy Bridgewater's. I'm not saying he sucks. I think he played 8 years, 9 years in the NFL. It's good. But anyways, Air Noland, let's see if he gets on the field this year. Hopefully he does eventually, but if you're playing depth, I assume he takes a red shirt year. You almost have to red shirt him, right? Save that extra year on the back end. So that's all I got for you today. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Bucks.